Welcome. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and you are listening to the Mavericks Do It Different podcast with the Maverick Universe. And today I'm honored to have a special guest on here, and we're going to be talking about how to create a great life. And I know that's one of those things that a lot of people say, only this person actually helps you create it in your world and make it happen. This is Juli Shulem. She's a productivity coach, writes, speaks, trains clients on ways to improve their productivity and reduce stress, overwhelm, procrastination, all those things that we all experience, and we all want to make sure we eliminate them from our world. And yet, man, it's a daily struggle. It's a daily battle. And here's the person that's going to help us do all of that and more. We're going to talk about that. Juli Shulem, welcome to the podcast. What's going on?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Paul. I'm so excited to be on this show with you. This is wonderful.
So you've been a productivity coach for a little while now. And how did you get started? Let's begin with some of your history. How did you get started and why? Why this?
It's such a great question. Believe it or not, I actually started managing tasks and projects and my time when I was in junior high. I was that nerdy kid who would have a day runner when those were real popular, and I kept track of everything. Right? We all remember that. So I was always writing things down and organizing things, probably because my dad was an engineer and that's the way he lived. So I was always doing this, and I thought that was normal. Everybody did this. Found out not the case. I was a unique person in doing this. And it became something that I just did. And it kept me on track. And I was able to, manage everything I was doing. And I like to do a lot. I was always taking extra classes and everything. So I had to juggle a lot of things. This just kind of carried on as I went to high school and college. And unbeknownst to me, that turned into a career. It was a career. I found out that I was able to help other people manage their lives and organize their time and their spaces. And I started organizing, believe it or not, dental offices. That was my introduction to this world that became my life. And although I was studying in school, I was studying pre-med, and I was an art major, so really different here. I had both my right and left brain going at the same time. I actually became a medical illustrator. That was kind of where my path was.
Wow.
But I missed working with people. I had a great time photographing operations and going back into my studio and illustrating for various things. But I miss working with people. So I kept going with the organizing, and then I was speaking on how to manage your time better and get more things done. And it kept growing and evolving. And I became a professional organizer and efficiency expert. That was what I did all through my 20s and 30s. And then about 19 years ago or so, every single one of my organizing clients told me that they were struggling with ADHD, which explained a lot, because I was creating systems, and I love creating systems. I don't know, it's because I was a math major, by the way, as well. And I loved solving for X. So I was always finding solutions to problems. So what I did was create solutions and systems for how someone's brain worked. Turns out that year, everybody I was working with had ADHD. So they told me. I very quickly learned everything I could about this, and I had a little inkling of it prior, due to the fact that everyone in my life had ADHD, it turned out. But I learned how to create systems for the way anyone thinks, regardless of how that is.
Right.
And this then segued into being able to help more and more people. But then I was limited by just, in my area or where someone wanted to fly me to.
Right.
And I wanted to be able to help more people. and make this something that everyone would have access to. So I wrote some books.
And I want to pause you at that stage, because I want to go back, and
Okay.
one of the things that you've done really well is you took a talent, and so many people miss some of this, is that they analyze the world and go, oh, well, here's something that it plays well or is needed or is a hot topic or a hot industry, and they'll go into that without actually analyzing, well, what do I do well?
Right.
And let me bring that to market. And it's so much of it's such a great methodology for people to follow, because you took your skill sets and applied it into creating a business around it, rather than finding what a great business was and then attempting to create skill sets around it. And it becomes a better way of life, more passion within you, and obviously you're better at what you do because of it. So such a great methodology. I wanted to highlight that for our audience. We've got people listening all around the world, and pieces like that make a difference in their life and can help them out. So you tapped into what you were good at. By the way, I started off in the dental field as well. So my background, and something I don't talk about a lot, but yeah, some of my first careers, if you will, was in selling in the dental industry. And the same thing, these people need help. And our audience may not know, and I'm sure you do, is that they are the highest suicide rate of any profession is dentistry. And I've psychoanalyzed this, and I realized that most people go in there with pain, and when they're feeling good, they never get seen. And so all the dentist hears all day long is, life sucks, life sucks, life sucks, life sucks, and I'm in pain. And then they leave them before they get resolution of the pain, because you leave still numb.
Right. Good
So
point.
they never see the good side, only the bad. And it's so interesting. And that's what feeds into their devastation. And so helping them with stress and overwhelm and all these things that play into that, really powerful to helping them get real with their life. So with all this, now you realize your calling, you got into this, and now you're all right, this is real. Time to get clear. Realized ADHD. And you mentioned, and I don't want to, put words in your mouth, but you mentioned something about, well, this was a personal thing as well, or it was everywhere in your life. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So the ADHD component became really, it really hit home, because at that time we were noticing that my son was exhibiting symptoms of ADHD at quite a young age. We didn't do anything, really serious about it for a while, because, we wanted to make sure that that's what it was. And we did have, that was kind of what helped me to learn more about it, because he was and still is incredibly verbal and able to communicate what he was thinking, what was going on for him. And my clients were doing the same. So I was learning a lot about, okay, what was going on here? And what started happening is people started coming to me from all over the world. They found me because I had that unique combination of being able to help people get organized, because I had the professional organizing background, and also to understand and work with someone with ADHD. When I realized that this was such an underserved population, I had no choice but to help people, because I could. And this became my passion, is really to help people who felt misunderstood and were treated poorly in some regard. And especially in a work situation where they were not understood, they were not being given any kind of accommodations to allow them to really harness their talent and their superpowers to be able to be an asset to that company.
Right.
And this is what I love doing. So that's kind of how it all transpired in a way.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And the same thing when you take your assets, you can create business around it. When you take something that's personal and you build your business around it, it becomes so much more profound. For anybody out there that is, suffering from ADHD, this is such a worldwide challenge. And people get dismissed or pigeonholed or challenged with being able to navigate our society because of biasness, because of shuns around that. And you help them navigate the world and are one of the experts on how to not just experience ADHD and understand it, but then how to be effective with it in multiple ways, in productivity, in organization, in living stress-free, eliminating that overwhelm. And so anybody that has some of those challenges, here's something that not only understands it on a business level, but also experiences it on a personal level. And it's where real magic happens. So thank you for being a stand for that whole community. It's amazing. One of the things that people struggle with and hearing about, so my son and all the things that are going on with my son, and then I've got my business and my business is growing. And how do you balance all that? How do you manage all the things? And we all have, I hear it all the time. Well, you don't understand. I've got this. Well, everybody's got this, whatever this is in their life. And that shouldn't stop you. So what we started with, how do you create a great life? Well, this is the key. How do we do that? How do we balance it all?
For me, I can only speak for me and my clients. One of the things that really helps is, first of all, well, let me say two things. Know your priorities. What is the driving force? Why are you doing what you're doing? I know that every morning when I get up, it's so that I can help people have a wonderful life. Look forward to getting up in the morning and starting their day instead of dreading it. I love Mondays. Everyone used to say, oh my God, it's Monday. I'm like, yes, it's Monday. The week has begun. This is awesome.
Here.
If you're not happy, and out of the five out of the 7 days a week, how sad. This is a lot of time we're spending doing what we're doing our job, whatever that may be. And I love the fact that, I am excited about my day, and I do look forward to the people I get to meet. I look at my calendar for the day and said, oh, I get to talk to so-and-so and so-and-so. Oh yeah, I'm very excited about, helping them get to the next level, whatever that may be. So it's a drive for me. And in order to create the balance, you have to have structure. There's just no other way of talking around that one.
So what does structure look like?
Okay, what does structure? Structure looks like making sure that you are putting the right amount of time to the right things for the right reasons.
Oh, love that.
You love that? Glad you got that recorded.
Expand on that.
If you have time spent doing the things that are making you happy, that are bringing people into your world that make you happy, that are driving and moving you forward in whatever direction that may be, then you're going to have good balance. Now, you need to plan that, and you need to schedule that stuff. It doesn't just happen by wishing for it. Right. And I have a lot of people say, oh, but it's in my head. I think about it. Good for you. And how often has that manifested? The thing is that you have to really put the energy and effort into making sure it's going to happen by scheduling what you want to have happen. I'm going to give you an example. I had my calendar, my schedule. I was allowing things to just kind of happen. come at me, life coming at me kind of a thing where, okay, I'll see people whenever, whenever that is. Well, it turned out that that was really draining me and I wasn't able to be my best self for my clients. So what I did is I shifted my schedule. I said, you know what? I can be fully present on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That is my current schedule where I am client facing Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That is pretty much all I do on those days. I don't do much of anything else. It's just client facing. That I am 100% immersed in that world. On the other days, on Mondays and Fridays, that's my admin day. Those are the days I'll have, talk to other people, make contacts, have consultations. So I do consultations with clients, initial consults, but I have my days structured so I'm not jumping from one kind of a task to another, because transitions are difficult for many people, and interruptions, oh my gosh, don't even get me started. That's a whole other animal. And we do better if we stay doing the same kind of activity, that assembly line process, by the way, there's something to it. If we stay on that same track for a good length of time.
Yes.
We have
So many people, and I have some of the same conversations and I hear the same feedback. It's like, no, I've got it in my head, and there are people that are even highly productive that are saying, oh, I've got it all in my head. And what I tell them is, imagine your productivity when you actually use the tools that have been proven to work.
Thank you.
So you fall into that. Once you start writing it down and getting clear with your structure, your productivity will go through the roof. When you're already at baseline, it goes crazy. For all people that are lower than baseline, now you get structured, it'll change your world.
It does. It's life-changing.
And learning how to do that, not just for business, but for personal as well.
Your whole life.
It changes everything. You're absolutely able to, and exactly what you said, able to focus on the things that are worthwhile to focus on, that you prioritize, that you want, that makes sense for you, that you decide in advance, this is where I want to spend my time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so important.
It's
so powerful.
It is indeed life-changing. And this is what, I get to hear this from my clients on a consistent basis. I'll teach them a new skill and they're just blown away.
So,
oh my gosh.
Here's one of the things that I hear, and I would love to get your feedback on this one. So then they say, well, that's not spontaneous. like I'm not scheduling. Can I talk about, schedule? I schedule a date with my wife. I schedule a date with my children. And like, they're like, well, that's not spontaneous. That just destroys all the fun out of life. What would you say to that?
I'm going to tell you exactly what I say to that. So when I work with people who, they've got so much going on and go, and they love this spontaneity. Well, about that. So what I help people do is you block the time that you're going to go out and play, whatever that may be. You don't have to decide necessarily what you're going to do exactly, but having the time blocked out is what's so crucial. Couple things. First of all, we get excited and look forward to that prize at the end, right?
Yes.
It's the reward. Okay.
It's like going on when you have a vacation coming up or a party that you have next week. You're like, oh, you talk about like every day leading up to it.
You get excited about it. And so it builds and you're looking forward to it. And it often propels you to be even more productive prior, because you've got this wonderful reward at the end. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is when you schedule the time to take time off, whatever it is, I just call it chill out time. So if you've got this time, whatever, to just chill out and you've scheduled it and you've got everything else that you need to get done in that week, organized, scheduled, and you get it done, that free time becomes guilt free time. Now, we have a lot more fun and enjoyment when we are out playing, when we know that we've earned it, if you will, or that we have done what we needed to do so that we don't have that nagging voice saying, oh, but you really should be taking care of da, 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 da. Okay, that should not be happening.
Nah.
You want spontaneity? Yeah, try going out and hanging out and doing something fun without that nagging voice telling you you're supposed to have done that. You should have been doing this. That's no fun.
So many people, and when they talk about stress and overwhelm, it has the feedback that I hear is when I'm at work, I'm thinking about the fact that I'm not with my family. When I'm with my family or my loved ones or my friends, I'm then guilty because I'm not working. And they'll have this balance, this incongruency constantly.
Yeah.
And one of the ways, what you're saying is one of the ways to live in the present moment and enjoy the present so greatly is to make sure that you're organized and on task with all the pieces in your life. And that's where structure comes in. That's where this organization.
That's the magic.
Yeah, really amazing. So let's talk about that. What are some of the ways in which people can manage their time if this structure and time management is so important? What are some of the things that we could be doing right away to manage our time?
Despite the amount of technology we all have in our lives, I am constantly surprised by the lack of use of these tools that we all have available to us, starting with a calendar.
Yes.
I am constantly, let me back up on this. I used to think when I was teaching task management, prioritization, and all these things that, eventually everyone would know how to do this, and, it was going to be easy, and, I'd have to find another career. Yeah, that has not happened. It turns out more people are still not realizing that this is an essential thing we have to be using. Calendars, I refer to the calendar as the GPS of our life. It tells us where we're supposed to be and when we're supposed to be there.
Yep.
That's it in a nutshell. It is not supposed to be a place where you write a list of all the things you're going to do. It's not where you put your goals down. It is simply a place you list where you're going to be and when you're going to be there.
Right.
That's it. And the thing that I'm always encountering with people is that they are keeping so much in their head. If you're trying to remember where you're supposed to be, you are cluttering your mind with minutia that you really don't need to be doing, taking up real estate in your head with that kind of stuff when you've got a tool that will do it for you brilliantly, by the way, as long as you actually look at it and use it on a regular basis. So the main thing I tell people is make sure that you have a calendar, that you're using it, and it always reflects reality. Your calendar should always reflect reality. It should be not just what you are going to be doing, but if your schedule changes, well, for goodness sakes, change it. Change what's on your calendar so that you know where you have been. You can always go back and say, okay, was I there on Tuesday or Thursday? You can see in your calendar because it is real.
It's interesting. The old adage of plan your work and work your plan. That's exactly what the calendar is all about. And I refer to it as the calendar rules me. And so when I schedule the calendar but that's pre-work. In the moment, where am I going to be? I look at the calendar. That's where I'm going to be. and I let it rule me, and I don't adjust it, shift it, change it, because in the moment, that's what I pre-planned and structured and set up.
Yes.
And if you want to comment on that, is that good?
Yeah.
In the right space?
Well, I have a funny story about the fact that you say your calendar rules me. And I like to say it guides you. versus
Fair.
rules. Because I had a client one time and I was working with her on task management, and that was at the time when everything was paper-based. And so she had her system, and I came for, the next session, and I said, so let me see, how's your time management system working? She goes, oh, it's under the bed. I said, what's it doing under the bed? She goes, I put it there. I go, why is your time management system under your bed? She goes, because I'm mad at it because it controls me. I like, okay, we need to shift our sense of how that's being used. We took it out and I explained to her, you are in control. This gives you the control. It's not
Yes.
taking it away from you. It's giving
Yes.
you that control.
Yes.
You're making the decision what you're going to do and when.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So it gives us that power.
Yeah.
And it takes away the opportunity, the challenge, if you will, of reassigning when we're going to do what, and reevaluating what we've got scheduled. We make that commitment, and we keep it when we have it in our calendar.
So just because it's written doesn't mean it cannot be changed. You're still in control at all times.
Yes, you have to be.
Yeah.
Because life changes.
Yes.
People change on us.
Yeah.
We have to be able to be flexible, but at the same time, stay with our commitments.
Right.
And
so fluid structure.
Mhm.
Yeah. And be flexible.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be.
Great components. It's really amazing, and productivity touches on so many things with our life. In creating that life-work balance we've been talking about, understanding how to keep passion and excitement in your life. Structure is the thing. So it's not about lack of spontaneity. It's actually increasing that excitement, enjoying your life by being structured and systematized. And of course, reducing stress and overwhelm and all those other components. And a productive person just feels better. Ongoing, purposeful intent.
Yes, and I was just thinking about the whole spontaneity thing. How wonderful when you know what your schedule is, where you have a commitment and where you maybe don't, or have some free time. And someone calls and say, "Hey, you free for lunch today?" Yes, actually I am. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's spontaneity. You're right there.
That's true freedom.
It's freedom. Yes. Thank you. I was going to say
true
the same.
freedom.
It's right there. And you have the availability.
Yeah.
There's your spontaneity.
Oh, Julie, what a pleasure. We've got people listening all over the world. Last thoughts as to what you'd like to share with them. What would be a takeaway for them?
Find what you love to do and find a way to make a living doing it. That's the advice I got.
Oh, I'm right there with you. Right there with you. Awesome. It was for all of you. You absolutely want to reach out to Juli Shulem to find out more, to understand how to be a part of her focus with ADHD and get real with that in your productivity. To reach out, you have any challenges with stress and overwhelm or productivity, and you want someone to lean into, Julie's the person. How could they find you, Juli?
Super easy. My name is the only one spelled the way it is on the internet. So you can find me just Google me. You can find me at my website, which is simply Coach Juli, and Juli is spelled Juli. There is no E at the end. So coachjuli.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all the usual places.
Beautiful.
Hangouts. Website would be the easiest.
Awesome. CoachJuli.com. It'll be in the description. If you're seeing this anywhere on your computer or on your phone, it'll be in the description as well. CoachJuli.com. Juli, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, mine as well.
It's been a delight.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
And thank you to all of you for tapping in and being a part of the community, listening to this week's episode of Mavericks Do It Different podcast. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all the time that you spend here. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and find us and share us on Instagram and Facebook and anywhere that you are listening to this podcast to help spread the word, increase our community, the Maverick Universe community, as it continues to expand. And be sure to tap into @PaulFinck for any of the social media platforms so I can say hi to you and we can connect at a more personal level. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, on the Maverick Do It Different podcast. Till next time, everyone.
Thanks for being here today. As our gift to you, be sure to go to themaverickuniverse.com where you can download your free copy of the Maverick Manifesto. Until next time, dare to be different. Dare to be a Maverick.